when Grandpa Bunsen came from Missouri, he come to Armstrong County. That's where he came to. And then when Mother and Daddy married, why, they didn't leave the county. They stayed there, and later and I did the same thing. In the spring of 1917, that's when I started at Fairview.
How'd you get to school?
Had to ride a horse, or first few years just iron in a maze all it went. And then when the other kids got older, why, I'd go using a buggy and use a team to drive the 4 miles to school.
And what'd you do with the horses?
There was a barn on the school grounds, and the school grounds was fixed where we'd close them up, and the horses could graze in the grounds. If we want to turn them loose, but I never did turn mine loose. I just left them in the barn and always carried feed for them.
And what about the first school bus?
First school bus that Fairview had, teacher Vernon Baker was teaching there, and he had a brother who was living with him. He's going to school at Claude. So there was some more of them wanted to come, and Vernon fixed an old car up he had into a bus for him. Put a cab on the back of the thing and all. Had a toolbox in the back of it, set on for seat. Neighbors, I don't know just exactly how many went to Claude with that away, and then a year or so later then, Sam Rice Hare, the community got a regular bus, wasn't a regular school bus, just a regular bus, so they call them, and Sam Rice Hare drove that bus. And then that lasted up until years later, and they began to just get better and better and bigger, take more of them in, and Gordon Lauderdale drove a bus from Claude to Fairview and picked them up for years and years. And he had a pretty good sized bus.
Was there a church out there?
Yes, I went to church at Fairview that was 2 miles south of the original buildings there now. It's not out there anymore. And it went there for years and years to church. And then after we got electricity out through that community, we moved in up to where the schoolhouse is now and had water up there. And that's the reason we moved the church up there, to have electricity and water. Or we didn't have either one down there at the church. Well, we had our own entertainment because there wasn't nothing else. We had to make our own entertainment. And anytime it was after, up in the later years, not too late, well, we had a lot of singings. We'd go to somebody's home at night and have singings. Just one night, go someone's place. There's always Sunday nights, usually very somewhere one at a time. Occasionally we did, but not very often. After some of the teachers in the recent years, not recent, but quite a while back, got to putting on plays. About the time Lita and I were married is when they started putting their plays on. And we were in plays, just several different plays. Go to different parts of the community, different parts of the county, put our play on. Till we got so many, we couldn't drag them all around, put them on. Fairview has been a community with a school for a whole lot longer than I can remember. In 1954, Fairview joined Rural Neighborhood, and I was the first president of the organization. I'll never will forget that night. It'd been blowing all day, and it was cold and windy, and the man that was putting all that stuff on, getting us to get in and everything, was from Oklahoma. And It is still operating yet today.
And what does it do?
Well, when it first started, we just did a little bit of everything. It was improving the community was what it was supposed to be for, and that's what we did. We put lots of different things up around the old community, named roads, put signs up, and everybody had a name for their own community, own home. Everybody had a name. Ours was Willow Valley.
You remember going to the movies here at Claude?
Oh yes, yeah. When they used to have to run the film with a crank and all, yeah. Mabel Stevenson played for them. Played the piano upstairs up there, played for them. That's where they got their music.
Do you remember the first movie you saw with sound? Or what you thought when you saw one?
No, I just doubt if I do. I just don't. I can't think of the first movie that I saw with sound. We went to Amarillo. We'd been to the first movie with sound that I had heard it. And that would have been, I don't believe I ever heard a movie. I know I didn't. Never heard a picture with sound until after Lee and I were married.
What movies did you go see down here at this theater?
Roy Rogers was the main one. That was the best of all of them. That was tops.
The serials? Were they the serials?
No, it just ought to be just anything from one time to another, you know. And no, they didn't have it. One followed the other. Nearly every Saturday night we'd go to a picture show. Because that's the only thing we had to do. We didn't have nothing else to do. We didn't have no TV to watch and no radio to listen to. No telephone. Well, when we first moved up there where Johnny lives now, that's the old home place. Why, of course, Washburn was there then, but Amarillo was getting pretty well organized then, getting to be a pretty good city, you know. But I understand that the railroad track from Panhandle to Washburn before Amarillo was ever a town. And Washburn was a whole lot larger than it is now. It just kept, after Amarillo began to be a town, well then Washburn just kind of dwindled away, you see. And yeah, used to go up to Washburn every so often horseback and buy some cigarettes. Oh, we was big.
You remember how much they cost?
Not very much, because we didn't have very much money. I don't have the slightest idea, but I know it wasn't much. Because there wasn't no such thing as a dollar then. Everything was just pennies and cents.
That's true.
Hmm?
That's true.
Sure is, yeah. Yeah, I can remember going to Washburn when it was active, the rodeos, like they have here at Claude now.
Were the rodeos the same?
Just about the same thing. A little different. It was a little different than what they are now. Not quite as professional, you know. And
were they the real cowboys that went and...
most of it was just community boys that put it on, you know.